everybody. It's a beautiful day here in Boquete. Wonderful day. And this is the weekend kickoff with me, Mike Schwartz.
And me, Patrick Reynolds.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey.
What a great day we're having.
I know, man.
Fantastic.
It's so
here.
far been super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hanging out at the extra bonus Tuesday market this morning.
Oh, the bonus
for the
Tuesday
Friday
market on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
it
was
a
that
Tuesday
like?
on Friday. Hysterically hilarious and fast-paced.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit.
Well, was there a lot of confusion? Because I
Tuesday
don't
on
know if I
Friday?
could go on the Friday market on Tuesday or the
I'm
Tuesday market
constantly
on Friday.
confused because Tuesday market, the regular one,
Yeah.
you know, I'm from Los Angeles. We have our markets on the weekends, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
So for the first several years, every Tuesday, I thought it was Saturday. So I spent the rest of the week going, I don't know what day it is. I gotta go home.
I would be totally lost because I have enough trouble knowing what day it is without, a market on the wrong day. I'm just confused.
I know.
Naturally.
So what kind of fun have you been having this week?
Oh, my God. Let me count the ways.
Oh, okay.
Silence, crickets. Nothing. Not much going on, but we have a great show lined up for you here in Boquete. An amazing show today. The guests are dancing. Two of the most incredible women in Boquete that you will find, bar none.
Bar none.
Yeah.
Well,
we have one of the most active women. I get tired just looking at her. She is so, right? Priscilla Raquel, who
Hello!
I don't know even what to say about you. You do so many things.
she has enough energy to power Detroit.
I know. She's like a human generator there. And not to forget, the incredible.
The incredible.
She's
incredible.
The incredible maestro of trivia, Brandy Minori, is in the house.
In the house. Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah. Wow, we are going to have fun. And we have more coming up, too.
We have more.
This is incredible. Unfortunately, Rick Dunn could not make it today, so we're not going to have the list, but check the Boquete Music Calendar for the complete list of musical events.
The rundown.
Later on, whenever it gets posted. We have so much going on.
Yes.
So what we'd like to know, ladies, is all about you in 20 seconds. Or, as long as it takes, but where you come from, what you're doing here. Let's start with...
but real quick,
Yes.
do we want...
Oh, thank you, Patrick. Patrick, that's why he
the
gets
brain behind all this.
He gets the big bucks. I run everything off on this card. Everything is the number. If you'd like to call in and speak to anybody here, 67951-1323. We have had phone calls. It's amazing.
Ooh.
People have
Wow. Yeah.
People have called in 67951-1323. Here we are on Radio Tiraqui 103.3. And so let's get back to you. How did you get here? Where are you from? Who are you?
So I am Priscilla Raquel. My parents are originally from Chiriquí. My mom is from Bugaba, and my dad was born in Puerto Armuelles on a banana plantation.
Both cool places.
Yeah. So then they immigrated.
Your father was born on a banana plantation.
Yeah, and I'm
too?
allergic to bananas. Yeah.
You're allergic to
I'm
bananas.
allergic to bananas. I don't know, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, you were born on a. He was kind of probably. Had you in a little cage, like you're the little monkey.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And they'd poke the cage and give you bananas?
Yeah. Give me that banana.
So, but they immigrated to Kansas because my aunt, my dad's sister, married a military guy.
Oh.
And so my dad's joke is he went to go visit her, and then 40 plus years later, he's still visiting. And then my mom went to go visit my dad, and she ended up staying. And so they had chain migration to Kansas. I don't know why they didn't pick. There's so many cool states.
Kansas, yeah.
You're
One of them.
saying Kansas is not one of them.
Well, Kansas, like anytime you mention Kansas to somebody, they're like, oh, the Wizard of Oz. And
Right.
you're like,
Yeah, I
it's
feel like
movie.
a house just fell on me.
Yeah,
I live in
pretty much.
Kansas.
Yeah, it's not this cool place that people would. And so then I was born and raised in Junction City, Kansas.
But it's flat.
It is
You have that going
I've
for
been
you.
to Junction City, Kansas.
Really?
I've driven through there.
Yeah, it's off
Yes.
of I-70.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing much going on
Probably
outside
pretty
of the
good if you're looking for corn.
Yeah.
corn,
Right.
beans,
Look, you gotta
soybean,
look.
Milo.
Look on the plus side.
Wait, what's Milo?
Milo is like also
Is that a
form
chocolate drink?
No, that's
Yoo-hoo.
Yoo-hoo.
Here, that's Milo.
Milo.
Oh.
That's not. No, so these are all certain things that they plant to like feed the cows and stuff.
Oh,
so there's
I
certain
see.
certain types of grasses and stuff. But yeah, they're not like we don't eat it, but it's for cows and stuff.
We eat it eventually after the cows eat it.
Exactly.
So how ironic. Your parents are from Cherokee, and little Priscilla returns to Cherokee.
Yeah. Well, and I think I moved in between there. In 2012, I moved to Orlando, so I started working for Disney.
Oh, wow.
No surprise. there
Oh,
when
that's a
people
small
meet me.
world after all.
It is a
Like your
small
dream
world.
job.
It was such a dream job. I worked in finance, yes. So I worked as a banker for Disney's credit union, but I had this multi-million-dollar branch thing. It's like a big food truck, and it would drive around Disney property offering banking services. So I really got to be a cast member, which a lot of people in banking don't get to do.
No.
So I'd get my coffee on Main Street in Magic Kingdom and then go have lunch in Mexico and Epcot. And this was kind of our day. And in 2018, I'm like, you know what, though? There's cast members that are sleeping in their cars because I see them now. It's different when you're kind of in an office and they kind of come to you.
Yeah.
But now I would park and see them and I'm like, oh man, they're sleeping in their cars or they can't afford. And so then I'm like, you know what? This American dream is big. So I came here really kind of just searching for a new dream.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so
cool.
Did
By
your
the way-
parents come back with you?
No, my parents thought I was crazy. They probably still think I'm a little kooky. But no, they're still in Kansas. So my parents still live in Kansas.
That's still my one of my credit unions. I still bank with the Disney credit union.
Really?
Yeah.
Partners Federal Credit
Partners,
Union?
yeah.
Wow! Oh my goodness!
Well, my wife Gabrielle was an Imagineer.
Oh my
In
goodness.
Glendale.
What
so.
a small
So
world
what ended up
after
happening
all.
is because it used to
We
be
will have
there
to kill
was
you.
there was a credit union in Disneyland and then another one in Disney World and then they merged it and it all became
All right.
Partners
Partners.
Federal Credit
Enough
Union.
about the credit union.
I
all
know,
right?
it's so
We
big.
didn't
I mean-
come here to talk about the credit union.
I'm on a schedule.
But
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
but now
Priscilla, you came
you're
here,
here,
yeah,
right?
and you're doing incredible things.
Yeah, I'm the mayor of Boquete in my own mind.
Yeah. No, but you're associated with restaurants. You're
Yeah,
associated
yeah.
with
With
helping feed
people, yeah.
children, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Endeavor.
So I think the coolest thing about moving here is you kind of bring some of that little kooky Disney imagination and you're kind of saying, hey, can some of this stuff work? And uniting the communities is what, at the end of the day, if you ask me what I'm doing here, it's just uniting people. Because I
Nice.
think sometimes we have a hard time kind of crossing bridges and kind of getting to know communities that may be different than our own. And so I kind of have this cool thing because I am fully Panamanian, but I am also fully a girl from Kansas. So kind of being able to unite those worlds, especially through food, through promoting restaurants and helping them, attract different types of business, but then also with the food, helping the kids with the food program has been really awesome.
yeah.
So what you're saying is, if I had like yellow bricks leading to my front door, that would attract you. Is that?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. I follow all the yellow brick roads all
Yeah.
over everywhere.
Yeah, that's what
Whatever
I.
you
Well,
gotta do to attract
I like to.
women these days.
If I have to place an order for yellow bricks, so be it. Done.
And
Go
he's
to
into-
Yvonne's later.
And he's
Got
totally
any
into
yellow bricks in
cosplay.
there?
Oh God!
So if you show up as a scarecrow, sexy scarecrow.
Sexy scarecrow.
tin-
Let's do
a
it
tin
next
woman.
Halloween. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm all in.
Okay, yeah. Or you can be the dog, Patrick.
Oh,
no,
thanks.
he's my
So
friend.
great.
Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Oh, a
Pigtails.
total cross-dress thing.
Pigtails.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I have to
All
get
right,
my
we
gingham
have
dress
another
out of storage.
guest we have to get. But, Priscilla, hang out because we're all
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
chat.
because we're not
Gonna do
done
the
with
chat.
you.
Yeah.
And
So-
I just want to say, by the way, because we met last year, and I am so proud of you how much you have grown and what you've started doing. Like, just watching your growth over the last year has been amazing.
And I think you're a big part of that. And I think that that's the thing. It's so nice that Brandy is here with me because I'm going to say Brandy has been one of those people that's like whatever crazy idea you have, Priscilla, if there's some way that I can help, I'm all in. And that's what makes
great.
this community
So let's
work.
find out more about Brandy.
Yes.
And I would like you, because of your connection to trivia, I'd like you to answer everything in the form of a question.
Oh,
I
God.
don't even do that at Trivia.
Oh, you don't?
Jeopardy.
All right. Never mind. Forget that.
Oh.
Okay. So, Brandy, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you got here, what you do here.
Where are the bodies buried?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not maybe next time.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
tell you about the bodies. So, I am retired here in Panama. I was lucky enough to be able to retire very young.
Yeah,
Of
you're like,
course
what are you,
we-
22? Would you win the lottery?
Yeah, 24, but thank you.
24.
So we didn't win the lottery. What we did was find out that we could actually afford to retire in Panama because, ta-da, healthcare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really what keeps anyone from retiring early in the U.S.
It
unless
does,
you
yeah.
have millions of
Yeah.
dollars.
Very true.
So
Very
we
true.
literally were watching International House Hunters. I'm
Oh,
not even
uh-huh.
kidding.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that's happened to quite a few people.
Yep.
But yeah, watching International House Hunters and went, you can really buy property for that in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And we started looking around. Started with Ecuador actually, and Chris just kept looking and kept looking. Chris is my husband, for anybody who doesn't know.
Oh, we
and,
know.
Chris Minori, author of Murder on
Maybe I shouldn't
Gilligan's
mention it.
Island.
Maybe I don't want to be associated. Who knows? But yeah, he just kept looking around, and Panama pops up on every list of best places.
It does, yeah.
especially for Americans
Yeah.
to retire to.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
Yeah.
we came here and did it, and I actually got my cedula today.
Congratulations!
Oh my goodness,
Congratulations!
Official. Yes, we're
Now,
permanent.
all right, Brandy, I'm not much of a hunter, as you might know, but I imagine hunting for houses must be pretty easy because they don't move that much. So,
But
yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not here for sound effects. My bad.
No, well, that was good. Anyway, sorry about that. I just can't resist. So, all right. So you made it here. Healthcare and housing is all that's good. And so tell us what you're doing here in Boquete, because you do a lot.
So the main thing that I do is trivia every 2 weeks at Tap Out. Now our next trivia will be on January 10th. I'm gonna skip December 27th and take the holiday off.
That's a
All
good
right.
idea. Yeah, why
Feliz
not?
Navidad.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Feliz Navidad.
So yeah, if you come every other Tuesday to Tap Out, doors open at 4 and we start at 5. And when I say we start at 5, I mean we start asking questions at 5. People will yell at you if you're trying to sit down. At
Oh,
5
yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh,
people,
yeah, don't
it's
do that.
very-
They take it very seriously.
very
Yeah, and
punctual
folks, make sure
community.
you have your pads and your pens. Come on.
No,
you know
we
the
provide
drill.
that. We provide that.
Yeah, I know, but make sure you have them when
Yeah.
you sit down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Brandy-
okay, you're
Brandy, you're going to be having trivia during the Flower and Coffee Festival?
Ooh, what a good
Most
question.
likely.
Okay.
We'll have to play it by ear just in case.
Yeah.
Because Chris Young and I have talked about that a little, but I'm hoping maybe we'll have some really big trivias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
big trivias. Ooh.
Well, because that's the thing. We raise so trivia. I ask that you give money. You don't have to pay, but I mean, what kind of person are you if you don't? Because we do
Cheap.
it for charity.
Sorry, Brandy.
So we ask that everybody that comes in donates $5 because we figure, that's worth the entertainment you'll have for the next couple of hours.
Yeah.
And so every week we choose. I don't know why I'm saying we.
The royal we.
Yeah, the royal
Yeah.
we. I choose a charity to donate to. That's why Priscilla and I get to work together so much because she comes and talks to the players when we're raising money for her various events. And then I'm raising money on January 10th for a kids camp that's happening in Santa Lucia. It's not an official or charity that's doing
Yeah.
it. It's a group of nice people
Okay.
who are doing it. Allie,
Putting together
guys know Allie and her
a
folks.
camp for kids.
Yes, yeah, it'll be every Thursday for 6 weeks. They get to
Nice.
come. Yeah.
Nice.
Very
Because the
amazing.
kids are off. They're off from
Yes,
school. This
yes.
is the summer.
This is summer vacation.
Summer vacation, yes. And so
Nice.
they won't go back until March until the beginning of March is when they'll start going back to school.
And you're doing a kids camp too, right? Because then the
Yes.
three of you raised money for that last week at
Yes.
church.
Oh, that's what we were doing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. So the kids camps. So it partly just kind of was born with this idea of, oh my goodness. So if these kids were coming to school and we were like their only consistent meals that they were getting, could we really wait until the summer, until school started again? So we had talks with the community center, the representative for Jaramillo, Jose Montenegro, and talked to him and said, hey, would we be able to use your community space to provide meals, because we're going to be remodeling the school kitchen, which was what we were raising money for, and everybody that's donated and helped, and we were pulling contacts in Panama City. So we're starting that January 10th. So, and then the following week, that Monday, which I think is January 16th or something, we're going to start offering meals at the community center, and also helping some of the kids with their reading and math, and having some fun activities and stuff, and just giving them a place to come together. We don't realize how much those kids really need that. So when I heard about you doing something also, I was like, oh, yes. Because, I mean, there isn't a lot of things for some of these kids to do. And if it's not happening right in their community, it's really hard
not
for them to,
happening.
yeah,
Right.
it's really
Yeah,
hard for them to
absolutely.
get to.
What a great thing for you to do.
Yeah,
Seriously,
incredible.
It's just
And Priscilla,
amazing.
what was the name of the food program, Rescate?
Rescate de Alimentos, which means food rescue. And the idea is we try to use food items that's being thrown away. So we're always talking with supermarkets and little farms and everybody, and saying, no, don't throw those potatoes away just because they're too small, or
Yeah.
don't throw that carrot away just because it's ugly or it has two legs. Like, we don't care. Like, all of these things can be used as food. And so the idea is you don't throw away food, especially when people are in need and actually
Absolutely.
suffering from
Yeah.
hunger.
Yeah,
So
you know, there are many good charities here in Boquete. Many people that work very hard for so many different kinds of charities. But in my opinion, there are none better than those that feed children, hungry children.
Absolutely.
You know,
Agree.
it's great to help animals and all, you know, everybody else in need, but hungry children is a disgrace, really, I think.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
It's a
and,
crime.
and what I like about our foundation, which I think is really important, and I like to talk about it, is the Panamanian involvement. This foundation is, I mean, made up of mostly Panamanians. We work really hard to create alliances with Panamanian corporations, with Panamanian business owners, and even just Panamanians. There's activities happening in Panama City to raise funds for what we do. But I think it's really important because all of these things, especially when it comes to hunger with the kids, this is a Panamanian problem. It
Yeah.
is not an expat problem.
Right.
And so for it to be sustainable, you have to get Panamanians involved in their own solutions. And we can help and facilitate and share our knowledge. But to take point on that, sometimes there's just a lot of stuff that we do not understand. I don't understand. And I mean, I speak the language and I'm still like, what happens here? What? It's insane. It's crazy.
It's
So.
you know, it's a situation that I'm still trying to understand all of it, but my main observation is it's a difference in concepts, entire concepts, entire ways of methods of thinking. They're not the same as what you would experience in the U.S., for example. And I'm not saying one is good or bad, but you do have to learn what's going on and find out what the rhythm and the concept here is, and what are the ideas that people think are important. How do they, go about their daily day?
Well, and you,
Go ahead, go.
I was going to say, and you have to, this is actually what brought Priscilla and I together, by the way, was this very conversation when we met last year, was we were working with charities, but we felt that we were trying to put an expat solution on a problem we
Right.
didn't truly understand.
Right.
Sure.
You have to understand what the problem really is, where
Yeah.
the root of that problem is, before you can solve it. And just delivering food to hungry families once a week or whatever doesn't truly solve
Right,
the root of
right.
that problem.
Yeah.
And so we really, I was so glad to meet Priscilla because I wanted to be able to basically understand from the Panamanian side what they need from us,
Right.
what could be most useful.
Yeah.
And that's what's amazing about Priscilla is she really fills that gap, right, of being Panamanian, having been raised in the
Indeed,
U.S.
indeed.
You know, and so she's had some challenges because of that as well.
Yeah,
but she just really brings us together.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting because when you think about, like, you know, what your life calling is, and you kind of sit around and you get to this place and you're like, oh my goodness, but this fits me so perfectly, because I mean, I am, you know, fully Panamanian in the sense of really understanding and kind of seeing what, you know, they're saying, and then and I'm also am American, where there are certain things that we do that from an efficiency standpoint that really work.
Right.
The big thing that we talk about with the lady that I'm partnering with, Elga Barria, for those that may know, Chiriqui Hospital, Dr. Barria's daughter is who I'm partnering with this, and we have a lot of conversations about how do we not add to the cycle of violence. And so when it comes to that, it means, you know, if people are familiar with eating rice and beans, we don't want to all of a sudden start feeding them hummus and say, okay, yes, this is what's going to make you,
right.
You know, so you want to try to figure the solutions that you give a community. You want it to be very in line with things that are familiar with them, things that bring them comfort. You don't want to come in and make them feel like you're abusing them.
You don't want
over.
them to feel lesser than.
Absolutely.
And I imagine that the problem can seem so daunting at sometimes, so enormous that it would be hard to tackle. But you have to tackle it. I mean, you have to do it. You know, and there are other people helping you, and there are other organizations. I'm just talking about hunger at this time.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, and it can become very overwhelming. I think I've come down from the mountain many times crying, because then you realize you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't think about that problem, and wow, that's such. But then I remember one time Chef Elga sent me a clip on Instagram, and it was something about a guy saying, and he said something, it was, when you look at these big problems, he says, you can't look at it and say, oh my goodness, it's such a big thing. He's like, you're not doing a big thing, it's just another thing. And you take it just one day at a time. And that's what we've done. Like, I mean, we know that all of the 2,000 and plus schools here in Panama none of them are getting any type of real help from the government when it comes to the nutrition. But I can't work on those 2,000 schools right now.
So, Priscilla, maybe you can explain to our audience, because I don't even understand. A child goes to school for the school day, and you're saying some of these children don't have enough to eat or anything to eat, possibly. Now, who generally provides the food for the children in the school? Do the parents have to provide?
Yeah, so the parents have to provide, but the sad part about it is the amount of money that is being spent on school nutrition, air quotes, because there are budgets that are allocated for the nutrition of schools. It's about, the last year's was $6.5 million was spent on nutritional cookies and nutritional cream. And when I say nutritional cookies and nutritional cream,
Oreos?
It sounds like milk and cookies.
It was milk and cookies, but when you look at
that's for the entire country?
Yes.
So they're buying milk and cookies for kids that are
they're
hungry.
buying milk and cookies, and then what ends up happening, there is a fund that they do give the principal to be able to buy certain food items. The problem is that the way that those purchases are done is very clunky, and it means that a principal can only access those funds about every 3 months, and so then it becomes very difficult, and they don't let them do smart purchasing, which says, okay, if I can only do it every 3 months, well, let me get all these non-perishable. No, they have to have meat products and fresh products, and but the way that it works, it isn't efficient, and the reason for that is because it allows for a lot of corruption. So you have one family company that gets the contract for the 6.5 million milk and cookies, and so then they got their payout. They don't really care.
Oh my!
Yeah, and so then
not very encouraging.
No, it is. It's absolutely
not a good picture for Panama.
Yeah, it's a really the education system. It lends itself to a lot of corruption.
And the principal is responsible for purchasing the food.
Oh yeah,
it's so different than what we're used to. In
And
the
he's
United
also
States.
a teacher. And he's also a teacher trying to teach 3 grades.
Holy
For
cow.
the most part.
Wow.
So
Does he have to clean the bathrooms also?
sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
Wow.
And so then when I started telling Brandy about all this, I remember we were just sitting there and I'm like, oh my goodness, this cannot be. And so then you start to realize that you have a couple of choices. You can try to work outside of the system, which a lot of foundations tend to think is easier, or what we decided to do, which is really hard, is work within the system, within the school system, partly because we need these kids to still go to school. We can't provide meals outside of the school system, because now that's going to be something that they want to be more a part of than going to school, and we need them to at least get an education, at least have half of a fighting chance.
All right, Priscilla, we're representative of the gringo community here. So how can expats help you in your efforts to feed children within the system?
Support Brandy's trivia.
All right.
Hey, that's a great place to start.
That's one way. Go play trivia.
Go play trivia, because all of the organizations that Brandy is supporting with the trivia are worthwhile. That's something we're going to start up again.
All right, Priscilla may not want to say it, but I'll say it. You don't even have to play trivia. Just go down, put $5 in the jar, $10 in the jar.
If you just want to come by and drop off a donation for any charity, especially Priscilla's,
if you have blood flowing in your veins, you should want to help the hungry children here.
Drop off a couple of bucks.
Drop off
a couple of
bucks. If you have like food that you're like, oh man, this is about to expire, or hey, I have these potatoes and I don't think I want to eat potatoes anymore, you can give us a call and say, hey, here's this.
Something that's never happened to me.
I
don't buy things.
Or broccoli.
I just bought Cheetos. I don't want to eat Cheetos anymore. I just made that decision.
Yeah, so anything like that, we are going to start.
I want them.
Oh, so then, see.
I like Cheetos.
I have a taker.
Are there any like services you guys need as well? Like maybe expats that are builders or anything?
Cooks.
So right now with
comedians.
that may be fun. That would be fun to come up there.
Do a little stand up in my basic Spanish.
Hey kids, I'm going to tell you a few jokes.
Hola, niños.
¿Cómo está?
Oh, that's funny. You said comedians. I thought you said Canadians, and I'm like, why are we being racist all of a sudden?
Oh,
God! No.
I didn't know they were a race either.
I didn't either.
No, I kidded that.
But we did get a little, feedback from the Brainiacs, because some of them were Canadians. And wow.
Canadiacs.
Canadians.
Be careful with my players. You got Americans and Canadians.
Oh,
they'll let you have it.
Oh,
yeah.
Boy. They're tough customers.
But is there anything else?
Yeah, so we're going to start up in January again, Veggie and Wine. We're going to move it to Meye Bonore on Tuesdays. We're going to change the date just to give Chef Alex, who's been really kind, his Sundays back, just in case he wants to do events during the summer. So we're kind of going to be mindful of that. So Chef Adelia said we could use Meye, and so we're going to be doing that. We're looking to partner with some of the other restaurants in town to do fundraising events, but then also...
Okay, let me just explain. That's where you cut up vegetables that are... And it's really fun. I did it once. I went down there and they give you a knife. Why they gave me a knife?
And wine. Knives and wine.
Yeah.
What could go
Sometimes
wrong?
they run out of knives and cutting boards. So if you can bring a knife and cutting board,
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I would have brought my own. But that was a very sharp knife they gave me.
So pretty much what it is with that question in particular, with how can the expat community help as we figure out what our role is, we started Veggie and Wine. I realized, I said, okay, so people like to come together. People like to drink. So why don't we have that be like our processing for the vegetables that we receive from around town? So that started, and it created a really cool group of people that I call the Veggies. And out of the Veggies, there have been people that kind of have started to figure out ways that they can help that fits them. We have Dennis, who he also works in construction and everything. So he went up to the school one day and noticed that the benches were a little, wonky. And so he goes with his tools and he buys his 2x4s and he's doing. So as next year comes along, we're going to look to be adding more of those things.
That's really great.
With the construction going on at the school, we are hiring on a crew that's coming to do that, just because we need to make sure that everything is in order through the school system. Okay. So everybody has to be vetted through the school system, because we are doing this on.
Can I just suggest that instead of, I mean, a lot of people like wine, but I don't like wine. I would rather veggies and pie. You know, can you manage something like that?
So we've actually talked about,
not everybody likes wine. I mean, come on.
I was thinking martinis and veggies.
Well, veggies. See, then
why don't you have like a checkbox? That's the thing. With the gringos, they always have multiple.
Pie, and you bring yourself martinis.
There you go. I'll bartend.
Oh, you're kind of aggressive there, Brandy.
If you don't like wine, bring your own stuff.
Wow.
She can't be bothered with your request.
All right, forget about the pie. Forget about the pie. Well, while you're here, why don't you just tell us, because how you pronounce the name of that restaurant? It's like the name of the restaurant that nobody knows how to say.
So we have a couple. So we have Meia Bonore, which is where we're moving to.
It wasn't that one, but I don't know how to say that anyway.
Yeah, my parents didn't know how to say it. And then the other one is Nodri. Nodri, which everybody says Ngodri.
I called it
Ngodri. I mean, as long as you know how to get there, and you
you don't care how we say it, as long as you show up.
So the best part was when their new sign, after they changed names, the new sign was sitting over to the side. So Google Maps would take you to it, and you're like, but that's not the restaurant. That's a different name.
That's Colibri. I just went into the past.
Yeah, exactly. Colibri. So they finally got their sign up now, at least.
You might want to put a phonetic Nodri
underneath the actual sign itself.
Nodri. Like, this is how you say it, folks.
It's called
nobody knows.
Nobody knows, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, but I think one of the things is really cool is the indigenous. Going back to like some of the indigenous names for some of the places is really interesting. When we have indigenous people that come, we have like indigenous artists or everything. They're like, oh yeah, it means this. Nodri means roots.
Roots.
Yeah.
Very cool name.
Yeah, it's a really cool name.
It's like Roots Music,
Because we were going to name it
Roots. Great band. Yeah.
So the fun fact about it is we were going to name it Roots in Spanish, which would have been Raíces. But that's the name of the restaurant at Los Molinos. So then we were kind of getting that ball rolling. Then someone reached out to me and they're like, Priscilla, so that's already the name of the restaurant, Los Molinos. I'm like, damn it, we got to go back to the drawing board. That's kind of how Nodri came to be. Okay. No one can say
That's
it.
the most angry I've ever seen Priscilla. She's like, damn it, we have to go back to the drawing board.
And she said it with a smile.
With a smile.
I wish I could say the same.
She's seen me.
I would love to tell people how I first met you, because you were actually a waitress.
Yes.
When I met you in the Fábrica Cubana.
Fábrica La Cubana, yes.
Cubana, yeah. And when you came by and you started speaking English, and I was like, wow, where are you from? Because you are very Latina looking.
I am very Latina looking, which is amazing, and so I love
got that twang too.
Oh yeah, and then I start because when I start speaking English, and especially if I get around, there's a few of my veggie people that are also from Kansas, and so.
Whoa! Veggie people?
Yeah, my veggie
people. No.
We already covered that.
I know. You call them the veggies, though?
Yeah, they're the veggies. That's how they're. Yeah.
Oh.
That's how they are.
That's what I call the brainiacs.
The veggies?
Oh, no. Sorry, brainiacs. That was a joke.
Now you stepped in it.
By the way, I had nothing to do with that joke.
I will never do trivia again.
I love all my teams.
Yeah.
I've never met this man before.
I don't even like him.
I don't know who he is.
I gotta just real quick though. I wanted to say, Priscilla, what it sounds to me like what you're doing, rather than a Band-Aid fix or make a bunch of sandwiches for a day, you're actually about empowerment.
Absolutely, it's about creating a sustainable community, and even for Panamanians, it's hard for them to understand when we talk about we're not charity, and that was one of the conversations that we had even at the school with the parents themselves, and saying, hey, we're not nuns. And for those that know Chef Elga, she is very like we're not nuns, we're not charity, I don't even believe in God, so therefore this is not. I mean, she was very clear to let them know that we're not there to atone for our sins, convert them to anything. This is, we're going to facilitate and we're going to teach you how to be your own solution. And that's how it has to be, because
Absolutely.
if we as expats all decide to go back to the U.S., so these kids are just going to die of hunger?
Right.
Like, you know, I mean,
Right.
no one can care more about these kids than their own families, than their own communities.
Right.
And so part of this is taking away that white savior type of charity giving that says, I am here to save you and I'm going to help you.
Relax, little brown people.
Yeah, we are here to
Save
save
your day.
today. It's more so of, oh my goodness, like, I realize that you have a lot of challenges. What about if I teach you how to get around those challenges and
Right.
how you can actually be a part? And which is really nice. For our Christmas party, the mothers made tamales, and you know, some of the mothers helped decorate, and some of the mothers. So that's what we need and want going forward. It has to be a community solution, because
Yeah.
if not, it's not going to work. And in 5
not
years
gonna
from now,
last.
it's not
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
last.
Right.
Yeah.
If those people are not involved and have, you know, the need to do their own solution,
Right.
we can't stay up there keeping it going
Right,
forever.
right.
And that's what's happened a lot of times. And then you have solutions that happen that they as a community already know doesn't work for them. And so then it kind of just, one of them is these school gardens that everybody was there were so like pictures about the mayor like going to all the
Yeah,
schools
that
and
seems like
planting.
it would be a great solution.
Oh man, the reality is that if you go to the one that was planted at our school, it's just kind of sitting there abandoned because no one actually talked to the community about how to really keep it going. No one thought about the fact that maybe when some of that stuff is going to start to grow and that it's locked inside of the school property that is going to be closed. No one had a conversation about, does this really need to be planted? No one came and talked to the kitchen, to the mothers, and said, hey, what would you like for me to plant out there? And so now it really sits out there, and some of the people that have went to the school and have actually seen it can tell you, I mean, it just looks like overgrown weeds at this point.
Has anybody ever thought, I'm just throwing it out there, just spitballing here,
Yeah.
of a big community garden somewhere that would benefit the schools?
So-
like that would be open and managed by, you know, some people that
Yeah,
maybe
we
you can
have
get.
thought about it. The one thing for us here right now, there's a couple of things. Number one, as a foundation, we understand that there's tons of food that's being thrown away from the farms
Right.
that already
So that's
are
probably
producing.
your best source.
For now,
Yeah.
because what's going to happen if this continues on and we see the flooding happening in Volcan and all of that stuff going on, in about 7 to 8 years, that land that's producing food today probably won't be producing much at all, either because of land erosion or just overworking the soil. There won't be any nutrients and everything. So we're going to need the land that hasn't been used to plant food before to be used in the future. So kind of leaving that there for us to use in about 7 years is what we're looking at. Also, right now, the cost of maintaining some of these gardens is really expensive. So I'm looking
Really?
at a friend of mine in Darien who's working, Jason Cook is working on some organic, natural type fertilizers that are very cost efficient, that once he gets his pilot program really going and gets those numbers really going, then that would be something that we could use.
Could
Yeah.
you use also like more people with agriculture expertise to teach
Yes.
gardening and farming,
Yeah,
etc.?
Yes.
like Farmer Patrick.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't teach how to
Blue
grow
Jean,
anything
we call
legal.
him Blue Jean Patrick.
Yeah, in the future, yes, because that is something that we need to teach the communities. Right now, though, like we said, our focus is, if you've ever been to any of our veggies, you'll see all of the vegetables that is being thrown away, to where it's like, what would I
Wow.
plant? I mean, we've collected, I mean, and the vegetables that we chop doesn't even just go to our school. We get so much that we're sending
great.
to Hogar Triscar.
That's
We've
amazing.
sent to shelters in David. We've sent to Volcancito School, Jaramillo
Wow.
Abajo. I mean, so many other schools, and Back to Eden, we send some for them to help with some of the stuff that they're doing. So
I'll tell you before we close out this segment, because we have to move on shortly. I believe this is the breadbasket, per se, of Panama right here. It's certainly the center for growing vegetables. And I remember the first 3 months I was here, I lived up on Volcancito on a farm. I had a little casita on a farm. And one day the farmer said to me, he was an indigenous farmer who maintained the farm, and he said, "Come here." They had hot houses, and he said, "Come here. I want to give you this, show you something." And he gave me a strawberry, and I'll tell you, in the United States I never ate strawberries. To me, they were like disgusting. They were like they were big and white on the inside. They were horrible. And I almost said to him, "Yeah, I don't really like strawberries." But he it was smaller, way smaller than an American strawberry, the huge ones. And it was deep red. It was like dark red.
Wasn't it amazing?
It was amazing. I was like, oh my! I felt like I had never eaten a strawberry in my life. Like it was so new and different.
Wow. Cool.
And people my age, and it's very true that they say like the fruits and vegetables that we had growing up, they don't taste the same anymore. Not only because they're like tomatoes.
No, they don't.
People used to eat a tomato like they would eat an apple.
Oh yeah.
They were tasteful and juicy and everything. And I'm just so happy that you're doing these programs to feed hungry children.
I've learned so much just in the last 40 minutes.
So we
have to have both you guys back, okay?
We want to thank you, Priscilla Raquel, Brandy Minori,
Brandy,
here on the
Priscilla.
Weekend Kickoff. Yeah, and if you can get Fiddle Joe in here, we have a special surprise guest also to finish off the show. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you
guys
guys
for having us.
Thank you.
You guys
Merry
are wonderful.
Christmas,
Merry
Happy
Christmas,
Hanukkah,
Feliz
Happy
Navidad,
Kwanzaa,
Chag
whatever it is.
Sameach.
I'll see you all at trivia on January 10th.
And remember, you don't
January
even have
10th.
to play. You can just drop off $5, $10.
give us your money.
Yeah, just drop off the money. If you can get Fiddle Joe in here. Oh, Patrick, wasn't that
sir.
wonderful?
That was
Just,
great.
Finding out about.
I love these guys.
Yeah,
They're
they do
tremendous.
so much. They do so much in the community.
Indeed.
And that's what it's all about,
I mean, yeah.
We failed to mention that this is like a holiday version of the Weekend Kickoff.
It's true.
Because normally we're talking about musical events. We have musicians here, and we do have a musician here today.
I just happened to stop by and
a friend of the show, Fiddle Joe, was
Hi,
back
Fiddle
in
Joe.
town.
It's good to see you guys.
Every
again.
time he drives north, is it north? West.
West.
Yeah,
Yeah, west.
Drives west. He stops by. He must be doing a show somewhere.
Yeah,
So tell us what's going on, Fiddle Joe.
Well, I'm back in Boquete because I love coming to Boquete. It's a nice little change of climate from the beach down in Coronado, and I like to see my friends up here. And, of course, I like to play music in Boquete. So I had a great show planned for this week, but my partner got sick and is not going to make it tonight. I know a lot of you. I know a lot of you know Denzel.
Oh yeah.
Denzel, yeah, sure. I played with
We love Denzel. Yeah.
Our local violinist, and we had a rehearsal earlier in the week, and we're all excited to get some stuff done. I'd written a new song for my upcoming album with twin violins.
Oh,
man.
We were going to premiere it down at Tap Out, but we'll have to wait that till next time.
Okay.
So I'll still be down at Tap Out tonight. We're going to have the karaoke band do their usual from 7 to 8, and then 9 to 10, and then I'll do my show from 8 to 9.
Okay, so you're going to be at Tap Out tonight from 8 to 9, and we have the karaoke with a live band from 7 to 8 and from 9 to 10. If you can follow that, the math is a little tricky.
I got lost 2 blocks ago.
I know. Just show up at 7, you'll see the whole show.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
Scott and
easy
Chris,
that way.
they get to...
Yeah.
things up there.
There's probably a juggler in between.
It is posted.
6:45 to 7.
It is posted on the music calendar, and I believe on the Weekend Kickoff Show Facebook page, which we're broadcasting live to right now.
Live the Weekend Kickoff, 103.3 Radio Cherokee.
Yeah, 103.3.
Yeah.
Radio Cherokee.
So what else is going on, Fiddle Joe? You're
Oh, well, I'm working on a new album, so that should be done. In fact, I'll be in the studio in Panama City at the end of the month to do the last 5 songs for that, get them recorded anyway. So I'll probably have the CDs out on that by the end of February, mid-February into February.
All right, cool.
And I'll probably be back up here, who knows, probably around Carnival, because I know it gets crazy here around Carnival, but it's nothing like it is in Coronado.
It's fairly mellow here, actually.
It is
but will you be up for the
mellow.
Jazz and Blues Festival that period?
I might. That's still up in the air.
Okay.
I'm working with John on
There's
that.
going to be a lot of jamming going on.
A lot of
you
jamming,
know?
that's for sure.
No, I've always come to the last festivals, and
Cool.
so it's just
All right.
it's the scheduling. That's what, March 17th, I believe. So,
Yeah, starts on
17th, yes.
St. Patrick's
March
Day.
17th.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. And as a fiddle player, March 17th it's a little bit like Christmas. Once a year, I pull out all those songs that I only play once a year and go over them again.
The Irish tunes?
Yeah,
the
Irish
Danny
fiddle
Boy
tunes.
and Live Alive.
You play them and once or twice, and then you put them away until next year.
Yeah. Well, the last recorded festival was on the last day of the festival. I shouldn't even bring it up, but I got really sick on the very last day.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of the big COVID.
Oh,
It
no.
was, yeah.
Yeah, I was here for that.
So did you get was that the COVID that you got, or?
I think so, but yeah, back then there was no test or
Who knew?
anything,
Yeah,
so who knew? But I never had it after that,
Yeah.
so.
But you didn't die, or?
I didn't. No,
Go to,
I'm pitching
which is
myself,
nice.
but I did not. As far as I know, I did not.
Nope,
die.
you're there.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you're still with us. So.
Well, thank you. You're the one.
No, there's a couple of
There's
us.
a couple. But all right. So Fiddle Joe, there was a funny story of how we got to know you because he's a traveling musician, folks, and he came here. He had a gig all lined up, and troubadour, really.
Yeah.
And he came to play this gig, and they got canceled at the last minute.
That never happens.
Like the morning of, and it was thanks for Chris. Chris called me up, and I think he got me into Big Daddy's that night. That was
Yes.
Okay.
Back.
Yeah, we have to mention Chris.
It turned out well.
Big
I mean,
Daddy's.
Big Daddy's
He's,
sponsored the
sponsor of our
show.
show,
Yeah.
and he's just a, you could see we call it a mensch in the
That's a.
my people.
He's a mentor. Oh, you people.
My people call it a mensch. He's a good guy.
No,
he's
he
a
is
very good guy.
He is.
Yeah, and
Try
also,
the boom boom chicken because
try
it's
the
really
boom
good.
yeah.
Boom boom everything.
Well, he's got a lot of good ideas. I was hoping to get up here for the parade.
Well, let's
because,
not go that far.
Okay, all right. Well, you guys deal with him every day.
Yeah.
But we were hoping to get his snowmaking machine in the parade and have me playing Christmas songs off the trailer.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Well, that is a good idea. I'll agree with you on that
You
one.
need a really long extension cord, though, don't you? Because
that's what I was asking: is how big of a generator and water tank do you have to haul with that thing?
Yeah.
to get it going. But anyway, we'll try again next year.
Well, one
see
of
what
his
happens.
other brilliant ideas was having that rodeo bull for the expat
the
community.
mechanical bull?
The mechanical bull
Yeah.
for one of our still kicking gigs. And I was like, Chris, do you realize that the average age here is like 72? He's like, I don't care. No. He was.
who wants to ride the hip breaker?
Yeah,
Step
the
right
hip
up.
breaker. Yeah. What's the bull's name?
Hip breaker. Oh, good times. Good times.
Well, that's good because I have one good hip.
Hey,
Yeah.
You can
So
ride side saddle.
not on a bull. Not on a
Well,
bull.
with one good hip, you get.
Oh well, no. Yeah, it's hard to get on the bull with the brace. It's,
Well, being a fiddle player, I've been in a lot of rodeos and a lot of country bars, so I've seen a lot of those mechanical bulls, and they. It usually takes somebody under 25.
where
to
did
get on
you?
those things.
Where did you come from before you were here, Phil Joe?
Oh, mostly just Western U.S.
Okay,
Mo-
Colorado.
Northwest. I pretty much grew up in Colorado. Graduated from high school in Denver.
Oh, me too. Uh oh.
wow.
What high school?
What street?
Arapahoe.
Arapahoe, crosstown rivals. I was at Aurora Central.
Oh, okay. Aurora
Yeah,
Central.
yeah.
Go Bulldogs.
No, go
sorry.
away. Just
Go away. Just go away.
Our mascot was the Trojan, and the theme song was "Here Comes Mr. Trojan." So,
Oh.
people often would throw condoms. It was ridiculous.
That's a problem when you have Trojan as your mascot.
Exactly. I wasn't proud.
Yeah.
So I am familiar with the rodeo scene and and every bar. You can't get into a bar unless you have a belt buckle the size of your head.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a rule.
Oh, yeah.
And drink copious amounts of Coors. So,
Of course.
which,
in Colorado, yes.
yeah, you have to drink copious amounts of that if you want to, have the
If you want to
effect.
get a buzz, yeah.
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 Yeah, so, but anyway, I played around a lot in obviously, you play fiddle, you're going to play in a lot of country bands. So
See?
I play a lot of
Yeah,
country,
sure are.
but
Yeah.
I still play jazz and rock and roll. And
How about like bluegrass or
Yeah,
old-timey?
bluegrass.
Old-timey music.
Not so much old-timey
Uh-huh.
fiddle. I mean, I play a lot of old jazz tunes and
Uh-huh.
sing Frank Sinatra and stuff
Oh,
like
hey,
that.
that's
so
cool.
Definitely, I have quite a variety of styles in my
Yeah.
Oh,
repertoire.
right on.
I found that especially here in Panama, you have to play different styles.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I when I came here, I played the drums, and I was always playing blues. I was like, and I didn't really think I could play much else. I was kind of specialized. And the first thing I got approached to play was country western music. I was like, being from New York, I don't consider myself
Country
really,
western capital of the
Yeah.
world.
but I grew to love it. I actually loved playing it, and ended up playing so many other styles. And
Your
it's a very
bands,
good
you
thing.
guys, I think all the bands, because a lot of bands like yours play different styles of music at different times. So you should have T-shirts made up. On the front, it's country looking. Turn it around, it's a tuxedo, right? Huh? Gig to gig. I just invented that.
You do. You end up playing a lot of different genres of music, and even I know a lot of blues guys who they get tired of doing a whole blues show.
Yeah.
Even though there are so many things that are considered blues, but so it stretches you a little bit as a musician.
Blues is kind of like country, but without the twang.
without the twang. Yeah.
That's pretty good. I never heard it that way. I used to always say that people ask me, what kind of music do you play? I said, the kind you get paid to play.
There you go.
I never really cared about it, especially when I was younger. A typical Saturday for me might be a string quartet or a piano at a wedding, and something in the afternoon, and then I'd be ripping a tux off in the bathroom at night to play rock and roll. in
See, you need one of my
bars. So
patented
I need
T-shirts.
one of your
Right.
T-shirts, right.
Just flip it over.
Just turn it over.
Turn
yeah.
it over. And you're a rock god.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it. So my shirt's going on sale tomorrow. All you band members,
Right.
$19.99.
So if you need the tuxedo, just turn your back to the audience and play.
That's right. Oh man.
Well,
We have.
I had a friend, actually a very well-known jazz drummer in a professional jazz drummer in New York, and he always my ex at the time ran like a dry cleaning store,
Okay.
And he always came in, and he always had the loudest shirts on, the craziest shirts on. And I think my ex asked him, why do you have these shirts? And he says, well, I play the drums. I'm like sitting in the back. I want to get noticed. Nobody notices me,
Yeah.
I'm just the opposite. I want to buy something that's the same as the background. I don't want to be noticed. I don't.
Camouflage.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what
camouflage.
you want,
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
it's a crazy world, but you've got to do something about it.
it is a crazy. I've noticed that it's a
Yeah,
crazy world.
Well, you know what? But it's a fun world, and that's what this show is all about. The fun we're going to have this weekend and next week until the next show and the next show. And,
Well, we say it every week here, Fiddle Joe, that we're amazed at the amount of stuff that goes on here in Boquete, the amount of bands playing. We don't have the list.
Rick's calling you.
We don't have the list with us right now, but you can check it out on the Boquete Music Calendar. And there are so many venues. Some of them you're familiar with, and it's just amazing. You can go and hear all these different styles of music that we've been talking about. You can sit in a high-end restaurant and
The
hear
jam.
some-
How was the jam the other night at the brewery?
Jam was
Wednesday night?
really cool.
I'm sorry
really
we didn't
cool.
make it. But
Yeah. Well, you know what happens and happened. They got more musicians. This was the second week.
Yeah.
So they got more musicians. Are you going to be around on Wednesday? Because you can play in a jam. You're not here.
No, I'm playing
No.
Saturday night back in Coronado.
Oh, back in
Tomorrow night I'm
Coronado.
driving
Oh,
back,
wow.
yeah.
You got travel plans.
Yeah.
You
I was
got.
here for 5 days.
So it was a lot. It was a lot more musicians. You guys went on for quite a while Wednesday night then, or?
Yes, it was very good, and I wish that Griff, as we call him now,
Griff, yeah,
you know,
EB and the Satellites,
and Susie, and
Griff and
Susie. Shout out to them. They can grow this thing and get more musicians and have fun.
That's nice.
You know, and I will encourage. I don't know that. Well, I do know his name, but I will encourage. There are some musicians who come out and they feel a little intimidated, you know, to play.
Yeah.
And I would encourage you to get up there and play because it's fun.
Okay.
You know, make it fun. You know, you're not getting paid for this gig if you're going to a jam. What do you think about that, Fiddle Joe?
Well, I mean, I understand that, you know, of course, it's been a long time since I had any problem getting on stage, but that first time is always hard, and especially if you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
But that's what the beer's for.
That's right. Liquid courage.
You sound better. The more you drink, the better you sound.
That's how we are. The more you drink, the funnier we get.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So, no, I've you know, unless you're playing, I mean, there were jams in New York that were like semi-pro and above.
Yeah.
You know. And those were, you know, there was some serious players there.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
You know, you can't be a beginner and
not jump into
try
that.
to jump on the stage in one of those.
But what about here? Can you?
But
be a
here,
beginner and jump in?
yeah, you can definitely. You can definitely be a part of the jam, and it gives you experience, you know. And the key is just to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't, you know, this guy says, well, I don't know the key. I'm not sure of the key. Oh, they're going to tell you the key, and you know, just don't worry about it. Have fun.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. So, you have any other holiday plans, Fiddle Joe?
No, just back to Coronado and Christmas Eve, New Year's.
Yeah.
A couple private parties.
All
All right. All right.
Well, about a couple times a week. That's enough for me anymore.
Okay.
Okay. I think we're gonna wrap it up. We have to say a very special happy birthday to
Gabrielle.
Yes,
my lovely bride's birthday was yesterday.
Lovely bride.
We had fun, man. We went up to El Pianista, had some pizza, and we went over to Tree Trek and had some Irish coffee, and then we went. I mean, we were out all day. Then we went over to Panamonte and had.
Oh wow, that's a very special birthday.
You can get an excellent martini at the Panamonte, by the way. A dry gin martini.
You are the martini expert.
That's 2 places I know of. Anybody knows any more places?
He's
Tres
looking
Galini
for martini
and Panamonte.
Tips.
Yes.
All right, so let's thank all our guests: Priscilla Raquel,
Priscilla,
Brandy Minori, Fiddle Joe, all here. Getting ready to kick off the weekend. Patrick, thank you. Rick,
thank you, my friend.
Compiled the list.
Yes, thanks, Rick.
So we want to thank everybody. Beautiful day here in Boquete. Spend it having fun over the weekend. And this has been your weekend kickoff.
All right.